Hi everybody, and welcome to episode 8 of Scapa 2020, the series. It's Monday afternoon and we're on our second dive, and for the second dive we are diving this little puppy, the Kronprinz Wilhelm, one of the 3 battleships left in Scapa Flow, and what a boat it is. Vast. I don't think I've been on a dive on a boat anywhere near this big before, but it is absolutely huge. One thing I do have to note is that this is the only boat where you can see the big guns. If you look at the scan here, you can see that she's rolled slightly over and is now laying this way. I'm not sure which side it is. It's all back to front and upside down. But if we're looking at it that way, she's on her port side, which exposes the deck on her starboard side, which would be a port side. You know what I mean. So it gives you a little sneaky peek, as it says here, access to the gun turrets. So to get to the gun turrets, it's nice and easy because the lovely people have put a shot line down to what would be the bottom of the hull, and then it comes across over this little lip here, you can see, and then drops another 16 meters right down, puts you right in front of the guns. Now this scan's a bit weird, and this looks like one big massive hole and gap. It's not. I think it's just bit of a dodgy scan, to be honest with you, because basically what you can see in the video is the deck carries on along there. This is just general sort of wreck, and then there's the gap here. If I just put the deck back in, so this gap here is where you actually go under to actually see the guns. So if I put the deck back in, we'll do it like that. Okay, so the gun layout is, as you'd expect. The turret that was more midships is about there, and the barrel comes here, and then the gun that was more aft is sort of sat like that, and then the turret comes down and is under this superstructure here. So again, special handy drawings these, so not to scale or not in any way accurate in any way, shape or form. So yeah, but that's roughly how they are. So again, shot line down to the seabed. So if you just look in there, a little swim in, and you can see the guns nice and clearly. Now, obviously that's what we do. We follow the shot line down, go in, have a look. I actually go in and go under here to try and get that sort of iconic shot looking back at the turrets, but I'm afraid it just didn't work for, whatever reason. But it's quite tight in there because the deck is obviously heading down and then the seabed's there, so you're kind of trying to squeeze yourself into this corner and then look this way to get the shot. But there we are, so we'll have a look at them. Anyway, definitely worth seeing, and obviously one of the sort of prizes of Scapa Flow to go see the big guns. So moving swiftly along, so we come out a little bit of swimming over this scrapyardy bit here, and then round to the stern of the boat. Now it's got a very nice stern, a very nice bottom, or a sexy arse, as Emily will say, if you're on that boat. But what we do is swim up and then through the rudders. And again, this is another iconic shot, guys. You will see, if you've watched any videos or seen any photos, you'll definitely see these. And they are absolutely, again, massively huge. Everything about this boat, guys, is just mind-blowingly big. So we come up there, have a little look at the rudders, a bit of gore and amazement, or awe and amazement, I should say. And then what you'll see is little Dave decides to go on a little womble and starts heading off down this way, which was not part of the plan. So I call him back, and eventually what we do is we go up, and this is up, it doesn't look it on the scan, but that's up quite a lot of meters, and then we sort of meet the shot line, which comes across and then heads down to the guns there. And we did that, I've got to be honest, in pretty short order. We were pretty quick. So once we got back to the shot line, which again is about here, the only other thing Emily said that was worth looking at, or the next thing she was worth looking at, was over here, and it's this mast and spotting top that was definitely worth it, and probably my favourite thing on the boat, just again because just of the stupid scale of it. It's absolutely ridiculous how big these things are. So yeah, we sort of bimble along here, and again, guys, a lot of this is fast forwarded. It's quite a short video, this, just because there's so much fast forwarding, because it's a big boat, and this was a much longer sort of swim / fin than I kind of thought. So when we got here, this mast here is like most masts. If you can climb them, you climb up the outside. This mast is armoured, and the guy goes up the inside. So it's absolutely huge. Can you imagine this thing like swinging around on a boat in the middle of the sea, rocking around with this massive armoured spotting top, and it's absolutely huge. It looks like a castle almost, but it's massive and definitely worth a look when you're up there, guys. So yeah, brilliant. But of course, Dave wants to get back to the shot line, so rather than sort of bagging off there like I normally would, we had to sort of run back here and then all the way across back here, back to the shot line. Now, it says here about these casement guns. If they were there, we didn't see them. We were probably a bit low for these two here, but there's supposed to be another two there in the wreckage, but if they're there, we didn't see them. So we sort of come back across, no surprises, and then we sort of come up here because I know that the shot line's on this edge, and then we get back to the shot across and then up. By this point, we'd racked up quite a bit of deco, so don't worry, I'm not going to make you watch that in the video. But anyway, let's go and check it out. As you can see, guys, bit of a grey day. Bit of a change of deckhand this time. This was the lovely Heather, I think her name was. She was only with us for a couple of days, but just helping us jump in. So here we are, guys, at the top of the wreck. You may have noticed we weren't going down the shot line for very long there, and that's because at this point you're only about 20 metres deep. The Gulf says this goes down to about 45 metres. We didn't get anywhere near that. We sort of bottomed out at 36 metres near the guns and near the stern. Yes, just as part of the kit checks, I noticed that my SMB had come unclipped from the reel. They're normally kept together. I've got another video on that. I'll let you see that. So we're just putting that back together. And once we've done checking the rest of the kit, we'll head on down. So yeah, like I said, if you follow that rope, you can't miss them because we're sort of looking straight at them now. And again, you've got to just appreciate the scale of these things. Okay, it looks like you're just looking at a wall when you just see the barrel of one there, but the actual turret itself is like the size of a house. So you've got to sort of step back or fin back and appreciate the actual size of it. Ah, no, I did say that that wasn't the last time I was going to headbutt something, and I think me, poor GoPro, gets it a few times in this section. So again, just for orientation, guys, so you've got the end of the barrel of the first big gun here, and then that bit at the top, I don't know if you're going to see, so this bit above me now is actually the top of the bottom turret, if that makes sense. And I think you can just see just there the start of the barrel for the more after gun. So yeah, this was about as far as I could squeeze myself down, guys. I probably could have gone a bit further, but I'm always conscious of trying not to stir the bottom up. So that was about it. A bit of blackness here, but yeah, so I'm just turning around, see if I can see much going back the other way. And as you can see, it's pretty dark in there, so if you do want to see lots, you're going to have to take some very big lights down with you. I've not got the video lights on because it was, you can see, it was getting a little bit messed up, and I wanted to be able to see where I was going. So Dave's waiting for me there, look, so all's good with the world. So yeah, that was it. Big guns, you really can't see that much of them, but they're still definitely worth going and seeing. I mean, hopefully you can see here, guys, just the scale of this boat. It's just, you know, everything's vast. There's nothing small about it at all. And even this little swim, you know, from where the sort of aft main guns were, was quite a haul round to actually get to the to see the stern of the boat. But eventually we arrive, and there she is. And again, you know, it's just, this is sort of the narrowest bit of the boat. Obviously under here would be three, what I would imagine be very large propellers. And just in the distance, I think you can just, let's just stop bubbling. just make out the rudders, which we'll take a much closer look at momentarily. Yeah, so here they are, and you know, just gauge the size of them. Do you know what I mean? They're absolutely huge, and again, you know, just one of the sort of classic Scapa shots is just these vast rudders, just totally and utterly spectacular. Again, you know, for the marine life enthusiasts, you know, for atmosphere, you know, look at the baby fish. There's loads of them around. It's just an you know, a really nice place to be. So yeah, that's pretty much it for tourist attractions on the sort of back end, guys. So just in front of us, we've got this wall of steel that we're supposed to head up. Dave, he's already started to head the wrong way, but we'll get him back in a minute, and then we'll head up the wall of steel and get to the shot line, and then we'll go and have a look at this mast at the front. Dave. 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 Hello. Dave. Dave. Dave, you're going the wrong way. It's this way, mate. There we are. I wonder what you know. It's sneaking up on my right hand side there, Mr. Bubbleless in his rebreather. But yeah, I mean, look at it, guys. You know, this is the scrapyard. Everything's huge. Just absolutely, this bit was totally epic from my point of view. You know what I mean? I know I'm not a real recce and get, but well, this bit was just, you know, super reef-like and really nice. So here we are, guys, back at the shot line just as it disappears over the edge. So we've obviously come up about 16 meters again. You just saw off there to the right some bubbles from some of the other members of the dive group. But here we are back sort of on the bottom of the hull, the top of the wreck. Look at the fish, look at the baby fish. Oh yeah, there's some more balls. So here we are. So I'm just check with Dave. Are we gonna go, mate? Are we having a look at this one? Yeah, cool. There we are. So back over the side for us we go then. Down to the bottom, and then we're going to start heading towards the bow. So at this point, guys, I would settle in, go get yourself a cup of tea, because this is a bit of an epic fin out to this mast. Like I say, it was further than I anticipated. It seemed to take a bit longer. I don't know if there was a bit of current, but I could feel my sort of heart rate going up. I was definitely working a bit harder than I normally would. But yeah, we get there in the end. So this is it, guys, sort of the bottom of the mast, so to speak. And again, you just, yeah, there's nothing to show scale, but this thing is absolutely vast. You know what I mean? I'm big, but I could easily get on the ladder in this, which will just go around the other side, turn around, and then you can see some of the holes that have unfortunately rusted through. But it just gives you a nice shot of the ladder inside. So yeah, it's definitely a massive bit of kit. So you've got to think, for the guys that are actually using it, it's got to be a bit safer going up inside a tube while people are firing shells at you. So this is the start of the spotting top, and as you can see, some of the sort of plating starting to come away, but it's not like massively armoured thick. But I mean, just look at the little peepholes at the top. I mean, that is definitely castle-like, isn't it? Yeah, I mean, I would say you probably fit, 6 or 8 guys in here at a squeeze. It's that big, and it might not look it on the screen, but it's huge. Lots of cabling, lots of that kind of stuff. So needless to say, there was lots of comms up there, and possibly even the ability to fire the guns from there. But definitely an impressive sight, and if you do get the chance to go out there and you've got a bit of time, it's definitely worth a look. That little sort of groove you can see in the back there was where the mast sort of continued through and onwards. And if you look at the pictures on the wreck site of the Kronprinz, then you can see that sort of secondary mast coming up through that sort of groove. pretty much it for this dive, guys. We are just simply finning back now across the wreck, finding the shot line, up the shot line, and doing the deco we need to before jumping back on the boat. So I'm going to call this one here. A bit of a short one this week, but there's nothing really else to see, so there's no point keeping you here. Do me a favour, like this video, consider subscribing, hit the notification bell so you get notified every time I put a video out. Leave any comments and questions down below, and I will see you on the next one. Dive safe.